If you think rich and you feel rich, no matter how much money you have, you will become rich. You will be rich. I know that sounds odd, but I have a story to tell you today that has blown my mind. It's completely changed the way I think about everything. And I find it funny. I really do. It makes me laugh. On one side of the spectrum, you have me. I'm an older brother. I'm the oldest brother of four. Out of all of them, I'm the one who played it safe. I always made sure, ever since I became an adult, that my bills were always paid first, before anything else. If I had a tight week and I couldn't afford to go to the movies, then I couldn't go to the movies. I wouldn't take that chance. The bills had to get paid first. And every Friday, that'd be the first thing I do. I'd go and write out my checks or pay online. On the other side of the spectrum, you have my brother. He's about a year and a half younger than me. And he was the opposite. The bills were not the priority. What was the priority was buying that thing he wanted. Whether it was the newest CD that day, or CDs, the newest downloads, the newest DVDs or Blu-rays, or a new gaming system. Whenever PlayStation gets a new version out, he has it that day. He'll pre-order it. He makes sure that he has it the day it comes out. He wants to be the first one to use it. So every time, he buys it. Whenever he has his dream car in mind, he goes and buys it. He just does it. He figures it out and he does it every time. Not me. I've always wanted a sports car. Ever since I was a kid. But I haven't bought one yet. I haven't owned one. I've had the same truck now for 13 years. I love it. It's a great truck. But I've had it for 13 years. It's aging. It still runs great, but it's got its problems. But my brother, if his car was going, he'd get a new one. He would just do it. He doesn't restrict himself. He doesn't hold himself back. You know what? My brother's not rich. There were times he wasn't making that much money, but he thinks rich. He doesn't think in terms that where he's going to let money hold him down. He doesn't do it. About 5 weeks ago, he said something to me which made me understand him more. He said, "You want to know why I overspend money and I buy the things I want to buy when I want it? It's because when we were growing up, Dad would make promises and he wouldn't keep them. So all of these things that were promised to us, we'd never get." And he said, "So I decided when I got older and I had a job, I wouldn't restrict myself. I wouldn't deprive myself of what I wanted. I would just get it. And I don't care if I didn't have enough money to pay the bills or whatever. I would just get it." For me, it was also based on my father, but it was based on the fact that my family struggled to have money and that we lost our home. And when we lost our home, I told myself, I am not going to go that direction. I will do everything in my power to make sure I don't face that. So therefore, I went the opposite way. Our lives couldn't be farther apart in how different they are. He was the first one to get a house. Not me, the older brother. He was the first one to get a house. He was the first one to get married. Not only did he get married, he found his actual soulmate, the person who is his perfect match. He's the first one to have kids. He's the first one out of all of us to actually buy his dream car. It was as soon as he saw that car, he wanted it. He's like, "That's mine." And he got it. He has just about everything he wants. And when he wants something new, he gets it. And something that kind of bothered me about a year ago, his first house, they were struggling to keep it. They didn't pay their mortgage payment for I don't know how long. And they decided to try to sell the house and it wasn't working out. And they were trying to work with the bank and that wasn't working out. And we had given them suggestions, but they wouldn't take it. But at the end of the day, it actually worked out because his wife's family gave them their house. a much nicer house in a much better town and a much better neighborhood. The house itself had been remodeled, so inside was immaculate. A beautiful house. And they got it. And I remember at that time just talking to my mother saying, I don't get it. I just don't get it. How is it that he abuses money, overspends? They've had bill collectors at them in the past. Here they are, they're not paying their mortgage payment, and yet everything always works out for him. It always works out. He can't pay the mortgage on his house, so suddenly another house falls in his lap. He wants his dream car, he gets it. He wasn't able to pay his bills. He had collectors after him. And then you're not going to believe this. His house, they couldn't pay it anymore. Right? They couldn't sell it. They ended up selling the house for what the hell was it? $100,000 less than what they paid for it? I mean, could you believe that? $100,000 less than what they paid for it. And yet, they got money back. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they got $10,000 back. When they sold the house, $10,000 on a house they couldn't pay, that they sold for $100,000 less. And yet they still made money. At $10,000, he paid off his car. He paid off the rest of his debts. It all worked out. And yet me, it didn't. I was facing losing my house. Nothing was working. Things weren't happening. My businesses suddenly stopped bringing me money. And I had to step back and go, what the hell is going on here? What am I doing wrong? How is it that he succeeds? How is it that he's the one not paying his bills, not being responsible, but it all works out like magic? I think I just told you the answer. It's because he thinks rich. He thinks like a rich person. Rich people don't care about what they buy. They just buy. They don't feel guilty about it. They don't have remorse. They just do it. You look at some of these rich people and what they put in their houses, and you're like, geez, what a waste of money. Why would you spend that? They don't care because they're so confident that that money's coming back to them, they'll spend it. It works. It works. It works for my brother. Because I played it safe. I was not doing any of that stuff. I was more miserable. I wasn't enjoying life the way I should. I was in a box, in a prison cell, keeping myself in that cell. And because of that, I was negative. I would repel anything good from happening to me. Yet, the few times that things did happen to me, it was because I was open for it. Because I believed in it. I was confident in it. I was positive about it. And that's when it worked out. But the rest of the time, I would go do something and be like, this might work. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Or I would say, I'm going to do this by this point in time. And yet part of me kept going, maybe. I'm going on this new journey where I'm going to change my mindset. I've already started, and I'm going to believe like that. I'm going to try to start thinking the way my brother does. I'm going to try to start thinking like a rich person. It's very hard when you spent your entire adult life thinking one way, and now you got to change that. But it is very clear and obvious. We come from the same family. We were making the same amount of money a week. Yet he's the one who was living rich, and I wasn't. Go figure, huh? Is that not proof that thinking rich doesn't work? I don't know what else is. I just don't. So if you want to be rich, think it, feel it, be it. And you will be. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Please be sure to subscribe by clicking here. And hey, while you're at it, visit my site here for lots of cool content and yes, some free stuff. Hey, who doesn't love free stuff? I don't. Shut up.